Welcome back to another tutorial of EMWORKS EMAG. In this video, we will use EMAG 2D to simulate this electromagnet lifter. Let's start with creating new design in the project tree and designing the geometry that we need. The first part is magnetic core of the lifter. So let's create this new part on XY plane and use the 2D sketch on the same plane too. We will use a rectangle as the base of the design and dimensions to create it in the most accurate way. The length of this core will be 200 millimeter and the height will be 60 millimeter. Now if we want to create a space for the coils, we need to subtract another rectangle from the main core. It will be 40 millimeter and the length will be 160 millimeter. To make it in the center, we need to define this distance as 20 millimeter, and in this way we will be sure that the tool part that we created is in the middle of the main core. Select the trim tool to delete this bottom line and delete this part. For having a covered surface, go to the 3D model, click on patch and select the face that you want to create as a part. Click on OK, and now we have the core geometry. We need to create coils, the slab that this lifter will create force on, and the region of the simulation. So let's create another part. Click on return and create now coils. The same surface that we selected for the core XY plane, and we need a simple rectangle as the coil. The coil will be 100 millimeter with 15 millimeter length and the distance of 5 millimeter between the core and coil. Again, patch option for this coil and using pattern to create the other part of the coil too in y-axis with the distance of 45 millimeter. Let's create a steel slab too. It will be a rectangle with, for example, 300 millimeter as the length and 20 millimeter as the height. Click on patch option to have a face, and the geometry that we wanted to model is finished. Just we need to create a region to use the boundary conditions. Create a new 2D sketch, XY plane, and rectangle around whole objects. Patch, and the geometry modeling is finished. To have a better view, let's make the region transparent. Transparent, or simply hide it by click on visibility. We need to create a user coordinate system too. So in the region, we will go to the edit, new user coordinate system, defining the x vector and y vector. And we will use this new coordinate system as the reference of the simulation. The next part was going to Simulation tab, right click on 2D and choose the solver type that we want to use. In the previous tutorial, we used the magnetostatic, and in this one, let's use transient magnetic to see the options of this solver too. For the excitation of this coil, we will use 50 Hz power source, so the period will be 20 milliseconds. As the 2D solver is so fast in the simulation, let's model, for example, 4 periods of the excitation and use very small time steps to be able to see the diagrams smoothly. We want to calculate the core loss 2 and compute circuit parameters like inductances. And the next thing that we need to select is select coordinate system. We created the coordinate system before and we select it. The last parameter is model length in the Z direction. Let's make it 100 millimeter and click on OK. Change the view to the front and we want to find a current that makes enough force to this lifter to hold the slab. Let's start the pre-processing setting. The first step is material setting. The region is air, so right click on it, choose the favorite material, air, and then you can hide it. A slab and core both made from steel, so we will find the steel type that we want to use in the comprehensive material center. Let's find the nonlinear steel with BH curve, and choose the steel that we want to use. For example, a material with both BH curve and BP curve, which shows the loss versus flux density. When you selected the material that you want to use and check the parameters of the properties, you can click on Apply and Close to move to the other parts. We have 2 coils made from copper, and we can find the copper in favorite material too. All the objects materials are defined, and we have to select the boundaries. For the boundaries, we need the region to be visible. Go to the boundary and choose the magnetic vector potential. We want to set the magnetic vector potential at the edges of the region to be 0. So I select all the edges and click on OK. Again, we can hide the region to have a better view. Now the next step is excitation. Right click on excitation and we have a wound coil. The first step is selecting the geometry of entry face and exit face. The entry face is the top one and exit face will be the bottom part of the coil. In general properties, we can dedicate the number of turns that we select 100 here and choose the filling factor to have a realistic simulation. We will make 80% of filling factor and the coil will be driven by a current. If you want to define the resistance for this winding, you can add it manually, for example, 2 ohms. And in the third tab, we can select different waveforms for the excitation. As we want to connect it to the grid, so we will consider the sinusoidal waveform with 5 ampere amplitude and 50 Hz frequency. We will not have any time delay. And the preview will show you the waveform that you selected by these parameters. Click on OK and the excitation setting finished. We want to measure the force on this slab. So right click on force and choose the virtual work, and in the select face we will select the slab that we created and click on OK. In this example, we will not use the analysis coupling, but we have the options to couple the excitation with circuit and create a multi-physics simulation with thermal coupling and motion coupling. In next 2D tutorials, we will use all of these options to test the software features. The simulation is almost done, and just to have more accurate results, I want to define a mesh control on a slab and the core as the most important parts of the simulation. The length of each one was about 15 millimeter or 20 millimeter, so we will use 3 millimeter as the maximum length of element size. Click on OK, and you can easily right click on the simulation name and click on Run. As you can see, we have 161 points for time stepping simulation, but each step will be calculated very fast as it is a 2D solver and the number of mesh elements is much lower than a 3D simulation. So we will wait until the analysis is done and we can extract the results. I stopped the simulation to change the number of conductors or number of turns in the coil. Here in general properties, I changed the number of turns from 100 to 450 to use the magnetic material on the knee of saturation to have bigger flux density in the geometry. Now the simulation is analyzed and we have access to results. We can extract two kinds of results: tabular results and field reports. As the most important field plot, first we will plot the 2D fringe plot of magnetic flux density to see the saturated points in the core and in the slab. As the simulation was transient and the waveform was sinusoidal, the first step doesn't have magnetic flux density. By clicking on the watch icon, you can change the step time and see the flux in different time steps. You can move forward or backward in the time to watch the flux density. If you want to see the flux path, you can easily change the plot type to vector plot to be able to see the vectors of flux density and find the path. You can use the right-hand law to confirm the flux vector's direction. It was the positive coil, it was the negative coil, and the flux goes in this direction. Another very useful option that we have in the field plot is animation in the transient simulations. If you click on Animate Plot, you can change the properties and extract the field plot in all time steps. Click on Play button to create animation from all the field plot in different time steps. And now you can see the flux distribution over the whole simulation time. The other plots like magnetic field intensity, losses, and vector potential can be plotted with the same workflow. Now let's have a look on tabular results, especially the force that we were looking for. We have access to the results in different time steps and we can plot them versus time. For example, if we want to plot the force in y direction, you can select that and add the parameter to be plotted. The excitation waveform was sinusoidal and the force will be sinusoidal too. When the current was 0, the force is 0 too, and the current reaches the highest value, the force will be around 250 newtons. The average force is almost 125 newtons. So we can calculate the weight of this slab to find out if this lifter can hold this slab with the 5 millimeter distance or not. Or we need, for example, higher current here or a smaller air gap between the lifter and the slab. Other outputs like AC winding loss that you can see has a time variant value, flux linkage, voltage drop, resistance of the winding, induced voltage, and other parameters can be plotted here. Let's plot the induced voltage too. Add it to the plot option and plot the parameter. As you can see, for this 5 ampere amplitude of the sinusoidal waveform, we need almost 200 volts. This result table is abstract of the results center that you can plot all the parameters from the menu. For example, if you click on force, It automatically plot the force versus X and versus Y. You have access to values here to be extracted from the software and can be used in other softwares for post-processing. In this video, we learned how to plot this 2D magnetic lifter with electrical coil excitation, and in the next video, we will learn how to use variables and use the optimetrics to sweep a parameter and extract all the results depend on that parameter. See you in the next video.